Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the What's the Juice podcast. My name is Yoni Kodo.
Wait, so is the music going to be playing right now?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm your host, Alia.
And today we got a special episode.
I think this is the first time we ever started, right away.
It's fine. I feel like it's nice to mix it up sometimes, you know?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm your other host, Alia. If you don't know, if this is your first episode, welcome to the What's the Juice podcast.
What?
I just was like, where do we start? But
we start actually with how you doing, first of all.
I'm doing good.
Honestly.
I'm not doing good.
No, you're doing good.
I'm doing fine. I just it was like a weird day. It was a day that kind of I felt like I just woke up.
Yeah.
And the day is already over. I'm not mad at it though.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day.
Yeah.
And there's been some frustrating things going on.
Yes. Do you want to elaborate, or is it just personal?
I mean, it's not personal. It's just like with the podcast, we keep having problems with like radio interference. Every time we try to record, there's like a radio show that you can hear in the background, and it's very frustrating. So we kept getting a bunch of new gear and like trying a bunch of different things.
We got a new cord and everything, and it's still there. So we're gonna figure it out, but just bear with us if you can hear this right now.
So if you're hearing something, just know that we know that it's there and we're trying our best to get rid of it. But yeah, so we're just like a little frustrated with that. But anyways, you don't care about that. You care about the pod. You care about the vibes.
The vibes today are all about phases, and I've had a lot of those in my life.
Yeah. But
I think we're gonna get into like the personal stories at some point later on, right?
Yeah. I want to give a little bit of background of like where I got inspired about this episode.
Oh, by the way, this is Alia's podcast episode right here. This is hers. I'm just here as the co-host.
The last one was yours. I would say the last one was like, it was your idea. It was like you were driving. I think it's okay to admit that there's some episodes that it's like there's a main driver of the topic, just because one person just has it very clear in their mind what they're trying to say.
Yes. And by the way, I just want to say really quickly, I appreciate everyone for standing and understanding what I was trying to say in the last episode. Okay, because I know how it came off, and you know that I don't want to get back into it, but
as you get back into it,
I feel like it was understood what I was trying to. I like from the comments from what I read, I could see that people understood what I was trying to say.
Okay.
I was just doing a really bad job explaining it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And I think, as always, I think it was fun for people to see us like getting into it for real, because in previous episodes, like maybe we might have had like a few back and forth, but I think that's the first time that we actually had a genuine, like, I wouldn't call that an argument. I would say that was more of a...
It was a discussion, like in real time.
It was just like a little heated discussion there. Yeah. But I want to talk about what we did over the weekend, because we had a good, fun weekend. Speaking of... like how we came up with this topic, we got to give a little bit of background about what we did this weekend. We
went to Leavenworth, Washington,
which is like a 2-hour drive away.
Yeah, it's a 2-hour drive. It's maybe a little bit more, no?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on traffic.
Yeah.
But it's to the east of Seattle, and it's just like in the mountains. Imagine like peak of winter time, snow everywhere.
It was beautiful.
You need a good car to drive in that shit.
Yeah, you definitely need a good car. If you don't have a 4-wheel drive, you're getting stuck maybe even like an hour before you get there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And we were there for with Yoni's friends.
Yes.
And I mean our friends, but they're like your friends.
Right.
And I'm connected through you.
Right.
So it was a good time, and I wanted to, there was like some people that I was kind of, getting to know better for the first time. And there's other people that I got to know like a while back. But there was a conversation that I had with someone one of those nights where she was making us dinner. And her and her husband, they're married, right?
Yes.
Right? Her and her husband.
Wow, how much did you get to know them?
Oh, shit. No, I just forget. But yeah, so her and her husband, they're vegan. They mostly eat vegan food. And it was actually his birthday. One of Yoni's best friends. It was his birthday.
Shout out to Ian if you're listening.
Ian. And also shout out to Andre because it was his birthday. Oh, damn.
It's his birthday today?
Damn, it's his birthday today.
Yeah. I texted him.
Oh, shit. I didn't. I don't have his number.
Is it a big deal if you forget someone's birthday? Or should that be a whole different episode?
I think that should be a whole other like birthday episode for my birthday because yours already passed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were having this conversation, me and her. I was helping her make dinner, and she was making us this vegan dinner. It was like 2 dishes. It was like a cauliflower steak and this squash boat thing filled with lentils. And, you know, it's like a whole process. And as I was helping her, we were just like talking about veganism and all that. And I was just sharing how I had my phases with being vegan, being vegetarian, different diets, different like things that I was into. And as we were talking, I said that I've come to the realization that when you're really into something, when you're making a choice to maybe put certain boundaries on yourself when it comes to your life, as in maybe you are very intense with your routine, or maybe you're really intense with your workout regimen, or maybe you're really intense with a specific like diet that you're following, or things that you eat and things that you don't eat. And I realized that through many years of in no specific like fitness and food and all that,
right,
I've had a lot of experience with trying different things and being into different parts of it, being vegan, being vegetarian, blah, 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 working out, lifting weights, or like boxing, or doing this other thing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know, I've realized that I'm not really good with a long-term commitment to something. And I was explaining to her how like I've realized there's no point in forcing myself to be vegan when it doesn't feel like it's not working. I'm not about to analyze it and be like, oh, why is it not working? It should be working. If it's working for other people, it should be working for me. And we just like talked about that. And she was like, yeah, that's a really good, like healthy way to look at it, because it's not sustainable for you to just force something onto you that feels so unnatural at the time.
I mean, people say you can get used to it also.
That's true. However, there are some people that it's more natural to them and they feel happier and they feel better eating in a specific way.
Like actually feel better physically too.
But I get to certain points where I start lying to myself that I feel good. But deep down, I'm actually not good.
Yeah.
And so that was that conversation. And then I kind of started not talking to her, but I kind of started reflecting on how one of my friends, I've known her for like about 8 months now. She's my coworker. And in the 8 months I've known her, at the beginning, I said certain things to her. Like, I'm a very opinionated person, and I randomly just like spew facts about myself. Like, oh, I don't really like this, or like, I really like this, or
we know.
I don't like that, or I like this. And then a couple months later, somehow that same thing I shared my opinion about would come up, and I would completely have a different opinion on that same thing. And she would be like, what are you talking about? You just said like a month ago, you're not into this. And then a month later, I'm obsessed with it.
I know all about that.
And it made me realize that I'm a person of phases.
Yeah.
So that's the background.
Yeah. I think the thing with phases you mentioned about being vegan, you know, I'm going to be honest, okay? I tried being vegan for...
Did you?
Yeah, like that was even before I met you.
No.
Yeah. Like I tried it.
Okay.
For like a couple days.
Okay.
Which I guess is not really trying.
I mean, it's fine.
Because because you don't eat certain things for a couple days doesn't necessarily mean that you try to be vegan, right?
I think it counts.
Anyways, I think like a real try, I was about to say full try. I think a full try is when you go like a week or a month. Like you actually tried it.
Okay.
Like trying to me is like trying to get used to it. So clearly I didn't do that, but mine was not even like maybe 3 days, I want to say, right? And it was like a weird flyer.
Yeah.
So I just can't do it.
Okay, but what about like something else though?
What do you mean something else?
Like another thing that like you actually tried for, like you were into it for a specific amount of time. You know? Like you got really into tennis.
Yeah. I guess we shouldn't specifically get into like vegan or
whatever.
It's not
really the point.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like tennis, for example, like me and Andre, we started playing tennis in 2021, I think. And I had a good phase. It was like that whole summer, I want to say. And at first we were so bad.
Yeah.
We kept hitting the ball like on the other course people were playing. They had to like stop their game, stuff like that. But with time, you know, we actually got better. And I was like, man, like I really want to keep, you know, playing. And I really got into it. And
you kept playing and you kept going back.
Yeah. And then it just stopped out of nowhere. I think it's starting to get cold and stuff like that. And then, I don't know, we just kind of lost it, you know?
Did you at any point feel like, damn, I should push myself to keep going and like keep doing it? Or was it just kind of one of those hobbies that like you didn't really hold so intensely that you needed to?
I knew that I wasn't going to, like playing tennis was just a hobby.
Yeah, no, of course. I'm not saying like you were trying to do it professionally. I just mean, was it something that you felt like you felt guilty that you weren't doing anymore?
I was just going to get into that. No, because it's just a hobby. Like I didn't want to play professionally. Like I didn't care to play in any leagues. Like it was just like to have fun.
Okay.
So there was no pressure there. I was like, I don't care. You know, it's just,
I guess
if I do it, but if I do something and I think, okay, this could be something, that's when I can feel guilty and all those feelings. I didn't have feelings towards like tennis.
Or where you would feel guilty where like it might be fun or interesting, but it also has another goal of like some type of personal growth of some sort. Because if you compare that to, you know, wanting to go to the gym and being healthier, that itself is like, maybe you're actually enjoying it. Maybe you're actually like having a good time at the gym at the beginning. You're like, I'm motivated. I'm into it. You're getting into like the whole gym life and all that. And then that kind of goes away because it doesn't stay forever. And you start feeling guilty if you like miss a few workouts because you don't have that motivation anymore or whatever. And you can't call that a hobby. Like some people might. But the reason why you start feeling guilty is because there's something else attached to it. Yeah,
going to the gym for me is definitely not a hobby. Yeah. Right now, I'm in the phase of not going to the gym. I don't care about it. I don't think about it. And I like feel good in it.
You feel good in that phase?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I just embrace how I feel right now.
So you're letting yourself just be in the phase of not gymming.
Yeah. I'm not gymming right now. Yeah. I'm not doing, I don't know in the last time I did a push-up. It's and being in the phase of like feeling guilty about it, it's very draining to my mind.
Yeah.
Like during the day, I hate to think about like, damn, I'm supposed to go to the gym today. Like I don't want to think about that every day. Like I'm not in that phase right now.
But when you were in that phase, it felt natural. It felt good to you. It was working at the time. It felt
natural. And then I would end up going and feel good and be glad that I went.
Right.
And those phases usually last, I want to say like 2 months of going and then maybe like 3 months not going.
Yeah.
And then, so I don't know. I haven't thought about going to the gym.
You kind of, I mean, you went a couple times.
I mean, for me, I do stay active. I play soccer. I play basketball, like a couple times a week each. And so
I just remember
I'm moving, you know, like I'm exercising.
Yeah.
I'm not just like lifting like weights.
But you had a phase where you were like obsessed with it.
I was. And
you know, and you were seeing progress and you were just like, you kept going back. It was your shit at the time. I remember.
And you know what I hate that I do? I always think about what if I just kept going until today?
Yeah, I mean, and that's what everybody keeps going when you get out of, especially like the gym.
But then when you're in it, you're like, it's so hard to keep going.
Yeah.
I'm always like, all right, so right now we're in February. I kind of want to start getting back into it. Mm-hmm. And I just think about the summer. All right, I always have to have like a beginning and an end.
And kind of like something that is at the end of it, in a sense.
Exactly. So working out right now until summer, I know I'm going to see some like crazy results. Because actually, I've never even worked out for that long.
Yeah.
Never in my life have I worked out seriously, going to the gym every week, every day.
Not even every day, but like 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah, that's what I mean. For longer than maybe 3 months. I could never get over that hump right there.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. It's so frustrating. I feel like I just need to go to the gym and do just lighter stuff.
Okay. So
yeah,
you think
when
you're
I
putting
do
too much pressure on it.
Yeah. I don't like that. When I do heavier stuff, because it's going to build muscle, it just gives me anxiety for the next day. Like, damn, I got to do that shit again.
Feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that.
So I would say I'm a person that tends to be a little bit extreme in certain things, and definitely when it comes to like exercise or like, eating healthy. Even though I've gotten better and I've worked on that deeply from, being in the ballet world, I would say that I still struggle with like not having phases. But then I decided that that's just how I work. I just have phases.
Okay.
I am a seasonal person that I am a seasonal runner, okay? I loved running when it's nice outside. Why is it that we're kind of like educated in a way to think that if you want to do or pursue this type of lifestyle, that it can't be in a seasonal way, that it can't be in waves, and it has certain downtimes when you're kind of different, you're not in that lifestyle, whatever that lifestyle is for you, and then it picks back up, and then it goes back down. Because
we always associate it with working towards something. So if you run a lot, I think a lot of people can do it just because it's healthy. Mm-hmm. But then I feel like there's a lot of people also who run because maybe they want to lose weight or something, right?
Or like how I was training for the marathon.
Exactly. So, but if you take that break, you're losing the momentum that you've built, or like your cardio, your endurance. Or, if you want to lose weight and you run a lot or walk a lot, you're technically like losing all of the work that you just did for those 3 months to sitting back down, and now you're back at zero.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily, I get it. Like, I think that is the mentality.
It's kind of true.
Yeah, I think that's the mentality. I don't necessarily think that's always accurate. I don't think your body necessarily reverts all the way back because...
For which example, by the way? Like running, you mean?
Yeah, like running.
I think it does, babe.
But also, what if you like stop running, but then you start doing something else? It's not necessarily as intense as running, but maybe you start doing something else. It's not necessarily that like once you stop one thing, you go to like the complete opposite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But basically what I'm trying to say is that I've come to the realization that this is just how I work. And I have to, I'm like okay with it now. And I'm thinking, and that's why.
When did you realize you were just okay with it?
I don't know, like kind of recently.
I feel like you had to like get frustrated and be like, I'm done feeling like this.
Yeah, because I was like, this is not helping anything. Because guess what? Even if I'm frustrated, I still don't do that shit. So me being frustrated, the way that I'm frustrated, I become so frustrated that I despise the thing that I'm frustrated I'm not doing anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is running one of those things?
Yeah, like running is one of those things. I don't feel about it like that anymore. I would say that now I'm actually excited for spring and summer when it's going to be nicer out.
The runs that we went on were so beautiful.
So beautiful. And I genuinely was like into it. I wasn't even thinking like, oh, I'm doing cardio. Oh, I'm like losing calories. Like it wasn't about that.
I was in that shit too, babe.
It felt just genuinely so good.
Yeah.
And
you got me so into that shit too.
Yeah. And then once it stopped feeling good because it wasn't as nice out anymore, because I also was training for a marathon. So the type of training you do for that is you're not just, you have to also like up your mileage every time. You have to like increase everything every single time you go for a run. So there's a little bit more attached to it. I would say, yeah. Because I got to the point of my training where I had to go on fucking like 10-mile runs twice a week.
Damn.
And I'm like, damn, I don't want to run for that long. I want to go for a cute 3-miler.
Or 5.
Or sorry, 5. No, yeah, 3 miles, 5K.
Yeah.
Or like a little bit more than that. And I'm good. That's like what would have felt good to me. But then having to run and train for a marathon, I had to like run 10K 10 miles when I didn't want to run 10 miles. And I get like, maybe you're listening to this and you're thinking, okay, but like you had a goal, you know, it's good to set goals because you're going to stay disciplined, because you're going to get better. You're going to push yourself. Trust me, I was an athlete when I was a ballet dancer. So I know all about that. However, am I trying to be a fucking marathon runner? Like, am I trying to make this into something like, it's not that serious.
Yeah.
You know
and I mean, if you are getting, if you are a runner, if you are a runner and you are training for the marathon, that's great. I think for me, it was just too much.
Yeah.
Like it was just, even the 10 miles that we did, I hated that shit because I told the story in another episode. I'm not going to get back into it, but we ran 10 miles once. And I think that was the longest that I've ever ran at one time, ever in my life.
Yeah.
And I felt miserable, and I was like, as I was running, I was like, why am I running right now? And I wasn't feeling good, and I literally thought to myself, why am I doing this? Really?
Yeah.
If I do 5K, 3 miles, I'm good. I feel like you also have to know what kind of runner you are. Right. I like speed, but I also have a little bit of I have good endurance.
Right.
But if I have to, I really want to run at my own real pace. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't like to run for a long time because it just makes me think about. I always think about, why am I doing this right now? Because I really don't want to run. If we're doing like like 1 mile, and I want to kind of like time my mile.
Yeah,
right?
like you just cared more about being as fast as you possibly can.
Yeah, like I was like, all right, I don't like the long, after the 10K, I was like, okay, I'm never doing the 10K again. And I was like, okay, let me just do 1 mile or 2 miles and see how fast I can run a mile. Yeah. I was Googling, I was like, what's the fastest record? How fast can someone...
you got into a whole other thing. And I was kind of frustrated because I was like, that's not the point of running. The point of running is not to like, let me see how fast I can go for 10 minutes.
See, but you can't tell me what my point is for my running.
I guess.
You know, like I was running because I was like, that was my motivation. And I was going a lot by myself. Yeah. I was going a lot, and I was like, okay, let me see. And then my time improved, and I'm a competitive. So I'm like, okay, if yesterday I ran a mile in, let's say 7 minutes, the next day I want to run it at 6:50. 10 seconds, you might think that's a long time.
That's a lot, yeah.
You know? So that thing just kind of it pushed me.
But then you just, and I mean, you know, and also like life happens, it starts to get nasty out in Seattle. If you're doing any type of sports that require you to be outside.
Oh yeah, good luck.
It's kind of hard to keep up with it because the weather is just trash. But yeah, so that was like one of those phases.
Yeah, the running phase, and everybody knows. If you listen to season 1,
we had a whole episode.
Yeah, go. Oh wait, when we recorded the running episode, were we in the running phase? Yeah. You should definitely, don't stop this episode. Finish this, but then after this, go listen to the running episode because I feel like I never really remember what we talk about, but we got in that shit. It was really good.
Yeah. I remember we got people to go out running and shit.
Oh, yeah.
And like maybe if I listened to that, I would get re-inspired. But I just think for me, like, I just wanted to share that I've come to this like conclusion, and I guess I'm at peace with the fact that I'm just going to be into phases, and it's a realization that I'm having because my entire life I was thinking like, okay, I'm going to get my shit together. I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to start eating healthier. And just the idea of the fact that once I start, it's a whole thing that I'm committing to, because you're committing to a lifestyle. What is lifestyle? It's a life, right? It's a whole thing. Just the fact that I consider it this huge length of time that I'm committing to this, once I start, it makes it that much harder for me to even start.
Yeah, because you feel like you need to be like mentally prepared too. Yeah. It's not just doing the thing.
Exactly. If someone put it into perspective of like, oh, I'm just going to do this for 2 months. I'm going to choose this one thing and I'm going to do it for 2 months. I feel like that's usually how my phases last. And then
2 months.
Putting into that perspective, and then at the 2 month mark, I change my mind and I get into something else, or I take a little break. It is what it is.
I feel like the point is, though, if someone's listening to this, maybe like I always think about someone else's perspective. Mm-hmm. We have to, let's say we get back into running next week, right? Or like in the spring.
Yeah.
I want to figure out a way to not think of it as, oh, this is like we're doing that thing. Like, I don't want to think about it as, okay, now we're going running. I really want it to be like a part of our life.
I know what you mean. And that's where it becomes
I feel like that's what it
lifestyle.
was. I feel like that's what it was for us like a few months ago. I feel like we were just getting into it because it was still a thing of us going. Like, you know, like I don't want to feel proud because I went running.
Yeah, like you want to feel like that's just another day for you.
Exactly. If I feel proud, like, wow, I went to the gym today, or like, wow, I ran, I didn't achieve what I actually want to feel.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And I totally get that perspective. However, that just hasn't worked for me.
Yeah.
Because it was never able to actually make something into like, why is it that like your lifestyle can change. Your lifestyle can change based on like what you're into. If I'm into running in the spring, then maybe I'm into going to the gym and doing more like lifting weights in the wintertime in the colder months.
Yeah. Also, where you live depends. You know, you might live in an area where it's a lot easier to go run.
Yeah, exactly. Like here, we also have a lot of hills. Doesn't make it easy.
That's kind of good for running.
Yeah, but sometimes you're not trying to do hills. Sometimes you're just trying to run for like. That's the thing.
That's the thing. Like out here, if you think, let me just go on a nice run, you're thinking about, damn, all these hills.
Gonna be all, like,
yeah, this is gonna be a whole workout.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess like there's other phases. Do you want to tell them about my phase that I had?
What phase?
Well, I also think phases transect. Basically, they cross over with what's like popular.
Oh, as soon as you said popular, I already know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Summer 2020. Alia was a live-in Instagram, Pinterest board on the streets.
Yes.
And
I was.
She had the nails all colorful.
And it was a specific kind of nail where you have like...
What do you call this style? It was just so like...
It was that you do the tips in a specific color.
No, but I mean just like the outfits too. Everything was just like colorful and it had like weird shapes on it. Like her shirts didn't even look like shirts, but they were shirts.
Yeah, it was
had like random
shirts,
holes in it.
But they were like, random holes and random strings. You have to tie in a specific way.
It's almost like one of those shirts you need help to put on.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly, yeah.
And She was in that shit
I had those chunky, colorful rings that were like so popular at the time, and I bought so many of those.
I like those.
Yeah, I don't even know where those are, to be honest.
Like once Alia was done with that face, she was like, I don't want to see them.
I couldn't wear it anymore. And actually, if I saw them now, I wouldn't be able. Like, it's just not. It's just it doesn't feel right. But at the time, it did.
What happened during that time?
Well, I think that's also the time where like I first started making YouTube videos. It was still like within the first year. So I was also finding my identity online.
You were finding yourself.
Yeah, but at the same time, I was finding myself. However, that ended up being I was copying everybody else.
I mean,
because I didn't know.
But to find yourself, you have to copy. And then you copy over here, you copy over there, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to make it my own thing. Because everybody
gets inspo from somewhere. Yeah, that's true.
Like,
however,
how do you think,
I just copied all the popular ass shit. Like, I didn't see no thing to the side that like nobody's talking about, and I just liked everything that everyone was talking about. And I didn't try to, because there's a difference. Like,
you didn't try to mix and match either?
I didn't try. No, I did, but I didn't try to. I didn't try to, like, you have to, like, now I really gravitate and buy and wear and do the things that I myself enjoy. And then I also have those influences in there as well. But I no longer think as deeply about it. Like, I used to go crazy and try to find like
I don't think there's anything wrong with copying. I mean, you can be inspired. Obviously, that's always kind of like better. But copying at first, that's how like babies learn.
Okay, but I'm not a baby though.
No. I know you're not. I know you're not a baby, but I'm saying like babies learn by copying what mom and dad do, right?
Right.
Until they can do their own thing.
Yeah, but
you're not gonna. Are you judging the baby?
They're doing their own thing, but with a reflection of like the parents, you know. So, I mean, honestly, what are we talking about right now?
No, I'm just talking about like the. Anyways,
yeah.
No, the baby analogy was kind of just like. That this is how you actually just become like yourself in a way.
Yeah, but I am myself, but I change every couple months is what I'm saying.
You're like a chameleon.
Yeah. You know, I was talking to my friend Brenda, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm looking for a pair of boots." And I was like, "Oh, boots? I literally never wear boots. Like, I don't like boots." Guess what? 2 months later, I was like, "Damn, I'm on the search for a pair of nice ass boots." She's like, "You just said that you hate boots," and I keep doing that, and I forget what I say because I constantly change my mind.
That's why we made the episode called "It's Okay to Change Your Mind." Yeah. Season 1.
And I think that it's exactly as valuable when it comes to phases. And I think that it's truly okay to embrace the fact that we are much more complex, and now we just transition through different things. And that's why, like, you reflect back to to a year from now, and you'll see like how many things you've done, how many things you were into at one point, then you weren't into that anymore, you got into something else, you know. You get really into, like, right now, you're really into watching older classic movies like The Godfather and, you know, Taxi Driver and, like, all those things. But then...
That phase is I just got in that phase.
Right. Exactly. But before that, you weren't into it at all.
No.
And then, I don't know, what's, like, my phase right now? Oh, so that's actually what I wanted to, like, touch on. This past couple months, because I was working a lot and I burnt out. I had like no time to take care of myself. So I've barely been in the gym. I've barely eaten healthy. Like, when I'm telling you, I'm not even saying like we've been eating like frozen Trader Joe's food that we just heat up real quick.
Sometimes I make my favorite pasta and chicken and rice and stuff.
Yeah, but think about how much I used to cook before, and I actually enjoyed it. Like, now I don't have any joy of cooking. Like, I don't care to cook because it doesn't bring me any pleasure, because it's always on a time crunch, because it feels like there's something else that I could be doing that is more important than cooking a good meal for myself.
Yeah.
And
I don't even think when you were cooking a lot, I don't think that was a phase. You just had more time to be able to do that.
That's true. But now, and I guess it's a phase, and these phases are influenced by like what you're able to do, what you have the freedom to do. So now, because I will cut down on my workload and not working the full-time job and just doing podcasts and YouTube, I am going to have a lot more time for myself, which is exactly the point. And I am now in that transitional period of like, I'm excited to finally have time to do the things that I want to do. I know I'm excited. I want to get back in the gym. I want to take a few like workout classes, get on.
Wait, for real?
Yeah. Get on ClassPass.
Did you look into some?
Yeah, you can basically, you have access to like several different places for classes. So you can do like a Pilates class, then you can do a cycling class, and you can do this other class.
Nice.
You know, and you can just like,
online or in person?
No, in person.
Okay, I thought maybe you wanted to like buy a mat and do it at home.
No. And I'm like excited to do that right now.
Damn, that's dope.
Because I haven't done that in a long time.
You know what phase I want us to get into?
What?
I want to get into boxing.
Well, that was a phase I had 5 years ago that I also like overdid it.
You went crazy.
I went insane. Like when I tell
can
you,
you tell them what your schedule was?
I used to literally.
Yo, you're crazy.
And it was more like the motivation behind it was that I was trying to lose weight. Because this was while I was dancing. So that was like, a constant thing that was on my mind. But I would literally be dancing from 8:30 in the morning. And then I would have a break around 2. And then I would have a break from maybe 1 to 3 or 3:30. So then at 1, I would drive to get to a 1:30 class or something like that. And drive there for 20 minutes to get to a boxing class. And then I would take a full hour boxing class that I would go crazy at. I was known to just be like going crazy, like just really into it.
Like you were known like there in a class?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And then I drove back for 20, 30 minutes. Now there's traffic just in time for my other 2 classes and rehearsal. Into the evening, be done with my day at 7 p.m. And then I go home. And then I would do...
That was a Monday to Friday? No.
Well, the schedule was different. But that's pretty crazy because most people, it's like that break is there for you to have a break. It's not for you to go and have a full-ass workout.
Yes.
And on the days that I didn't have anything after that, sometimes I would do a double workout. And I would do 2 classes back to back.
Did your ballet instructors... Like, did they know that's what you were doing?
I don't think... I was talking about it with, like, friends and stuff, but I wasn't necessarily, like, talking to my teachers about it. And then I went crazy with that. I was obsessed with it. And I truly loved it. Like, in the moment, I'm telling you. But it was, like... It was a combination of things. I loved it because it was giving me results. And I loved it because it made me feel strong. And because I felt like I was improving. And... it was 2 things happening at the same time. However, then I had to go on vacation. So I went to Romania with my family I went to Toronto or something. I don't remember. It was a while ago. And they didn't have anything there for me to work out. So then I just had to take a break. And then guess what? When I came back home, I didn't want to think about it. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to go at all. I think I went to 1 class and I hated that shit.
You kind of tried to get back into it?
Yeah, and it's crazy how I just completely switched. And I despised it. I was like, I can't even think about it.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, were you done with ballet at that time or no?
No. But what's funny is that I got injured with ballet and I was able to get out of the boxing class. And because I bought like a whole year's worth of membership. And I think I did like a solid 6 months. And I had 6 months left over, but I was able to get out of the contract by just like saying I'm injured and I can't dance.
For the boxing?
For the boxing thing, yeah.
Damn.
But it's crazy.
And that's around the time we met when you got injured.
Yes. So I was really into boxing right before we met.
Wow.
And it was kickboxing, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is slightly different.
I want to get into boxing.
It's really fun.
But my form, obviously, we
worked on it that one day.
We worked on it a little bit, but I feel very awkward. Like I don't have that. Like I have this video on my phone of you like doing the boxing, and you just look so good doing that shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying like, I look good, but
I was so proud of that video and how you looked that like I was showing people like at work or something. I was like, God. Yo, like we went boxing. I never showed anyone how I was boxing. I never showed anyone my section of the video.
Yeah.
Because it was just you in the beginning and then it's me, right? So I was like, yeah, here's Alia. And then everyone was like, oh shit. Like, yeah. She's good because you were really like...
You can tell by someone's form.
Yeah. It really looks like you really do this shit.
Yeah.
And I want to look into, like starting next week even, I want to look into how much, classes are or like where can we take him if you want to do that with me.
Yeah. I mean, I would be down. The only thing about boxing is that it's usually hard to find like a drop-in class or... Like, do you want to do it by yourself? Do you want to do it with the class? Anyways. Yeah, but...
Yeah.
So, right now, I'm in that... What?
No, I was just saying, boxing is a full workout. Like, I think I've done it maybe twice.
Yeah, and you wouldn't think so.
But you feel so good. You're like, man, I'm really working out.
And you're actually tired as fuck.
But it's also nice when you like, combine it with, like, push-ups.
Yeah.
I love push-ups, but which I haven't done in a long time. So, damn, you know what? Now talking about this shit, I want to get back into it.
Yeah.
Just working out.
And I know it's February, I don't really care about that. Like whatever month it is, like I know it helps to be like, oh, it's January 1st, but it really
doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter. I just am, and I'm excited about it right now. And this is what I'm looking forward to. And this is the phase I can sense that I'm going to go to. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited to start taking care of myself more, moving my body every day. There were days where I would just like sit all day and then go to bed and then wake up again, sit all day and then go back to bed. Like nothing, like I would barely walk.
Yeah.
And then when I would have time to eat, the food that I would make for myself wouldn't even like, sometimes it just wouldn't even include any vegetables, barely ate any fruit, and I just want to like tap back into that.
Remember that conversation?
Feel good about it.
Remember that conversation we had? I was like, because I saw how stressed you were. And then I think you were like on the couch right there. And I was like, babe, don't forget about yourself.
Yeah,
You're working and you're doing all these things and, with the full-time job, like it was a lot. Also with the YouTube and the podcast, and it was just important. It's very easy to forget about yourself,
Yeah, especially when you actually have no time to give to yourself. Like
when your mood changes, and I was like, I don't, like I want to see you, like, not that you were like unhappy and like miserable.
Yeah, but I also wasn't particularly good,
But I could tell.
Yeah.
I could just see that shit, and I was like, just,
Would you say that impacted our relationship?
Not really.
I was trying to be deep, but...
No, I had to think about it.
Yeah, no, I think we're good.
Not really. I mean, you weren't cranky really more than the usual. It was just the regular...
Like, damn, I wasn't cranky?
Yeah. But I could just tell that it was just a lot,
Yeah.
And then after you get off work, you have YouTube, and then we have podcasts, and then you go to bed at 11 or midnight, and you literally worked all day.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want my baby to do that. Like that's it's not good.
Yeah, no,
it's not good. Sometimes we always think we want to work a lot and do all these things and grind, but you can't forget about yourself. Go for a walk. Do something you love during the day. Like I don't know, like eat healthier, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And I think also one last thing I want to touch on, just going back to like how social media has an impact on, our phases that we get into and out of, is that the way social media works, like we've talked about and everybody talks about many times, it's a illusion, because there's so many people that create content around wellness and health and lifestyle and taking care of themselves, or like maybe even like fashion, or the types of, you know, clothes they wear, or beauty, and they do their makeup and stuff like that. And you got to remember, like, if that's the niche, is it niche or niche?
I'm the wrong person to ask that question to.
If that's the niche that they are a creator for, like if let's say that they are a fashion influencer, you will feel like, damn, they have all these clothes and they have all these cool outfits all the time. That's their job. That's their livelihood, is for them to have cool clothes. It's for them to take the time to take photos of themselves in their outfits. And it might look like they have cool outfits all the time, but guess what? They don't have a full-time job that they do other shit at.
They just have the time to do all these things. Yeah.
And similarly, fitness influencers or wellness influencers, they make money from showing you this kind of content. So, of course, it seems like they're always working out and they're always eating healthy.
Because they have
all the time in the world to make this really healthy meal. They have the time in the world to go to the gym and do a 45-minute weightlifting workout and 30 minutes of cardio. That's their job. They have the time to do it. And that's where it becomes an illusion, because sometimes we forget and we follow all these people that are inspiring to us, but then it creates the illusion that we should be in this type of grind and motivation with having cool clothes, with being into working out all the time, eating healthy. And we feel like we have to be as consistent as they are. But guess what? This is how they make their livelihood. This is how they make their money. This is their full-time job. But most people that follow them, they're students, they're parents that have also full-time jobs. You got to realize it's not attainable.
No, exactly. 100%.
Drop that mic.
No, exactly. I feel like a person that goes to school, works part-time or maybe even full-time, and you want to get into that lifestyle, and you're watching all these people do this, but you don't realize that for some reason we don't realize that that's all they do.
Yeah.
And I can't 100% say that's all they do. But if they have a big following and they do ads and promotions and stuff like that, I'm thinking this is their job.
Yeah.
Like, I doubt you're going to school and they ain't doing that. And you're working out every day, making big ass meals every time. And then it's like, this is your job. You have time to do that. So I don't think it's fair for us, people who do other things, to compare ourselves to what they're doing, because it's just not, it's not possible.
I'm going to be really honest right now.
Oh, shit. What? What do you mean? What are you talking about?
I, as an influencer who had a full-time job and was an influencer, can tell you, I don't know how anyone would have a full-time job and be a lifestyle influencer. To be a lifestyle influencer, you got to show some interesting shit.
Yeah.
Period. Like, I get it, you want it to be transparent, you want it to be truthful, 100%. You don't want to like show some fake shit that is not true to who you are and yourself. However, working a full-time job, what you want me to film? Me sitting at my desk from 9 to 5? Like, truly, is that what you want to watch? Because that's what's happening.
Yeah.
The only time that there's any time for me to film anything is the weekend. But on the weekend, I'm editing the video from last weekend. So I'm going to be sitting on my ass and editing. But hold on. I have to make a video this week. So then I had to do things because I wanted to, but also because I had to make this video. And then when it's nighttime, I can't go outside. I can't do anything anymore. I would be editing until like past midnight on a weekend for like 7 hours.
And the weekend is the time that you finally should have for yourself.
Exactly.
But you can't have that in that situation.
And I'm just telling you right now that, like, just from my personal experience, my content has been hurting because I have been having a full-time job as a regular person, and I just can't create content the way that I used to because I don't have the time, because I also don't do as much shit because I don't have the time to do shit.
There's no time. I see it. There's no time.
There's no time.
Like we really, so.
And I don't know. I just feel like I wanted to share that perspective because I feel like I would be lying if I didn't underline that. Because that's also a big reason why I am, not going to be working full time anymore and focus on YouTube and podcast, because those two things are really important to me. And I want to give them my all, but I can't give it my all if I don't have the time to create it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, doing the podcast and like all the merch stuff, that takes hours.
That takes hours.
Yeah.
And then
I get that.
Creating to make a YouTube video or to make a reel of going to a coffee shop and and I'm strictly talking about like lifestyle type of content, going to a coffee shop, then going to a museum, then reading a book, then working out, then making a good meal, then hanging out with friends. When do you think you can do all these things when you work 9 to 5 Monday to Friday? But then what's funny is the people that watch it are people that have those type of jobs. So then there's this weird like illusion that is created around all these things with lifestyle, with eating healthy, with working out, that we like as regular people, as consumers, we take it and we're like, oh, this is the standard. This is like how much I should be getting to do these things. But then you have to remember these people, this is what they do. They go out and do things to create that content.
Yeah.
That's their job. It's weird, but
it's good to know that perspective, because sometimes some people think that they have the same lives, the same amount of time, but then why are they doing all these cool things and I'm over here just doing it? Because you're juggling, you're going to school, you're working, you're doing all these things, you have a family life, whatever, and then you're looking at someone who's, I don't know, maybe single or maybe not even single, doesn't matter.
Like being single doesn't have anything to do.
No, I know, but you're just looking at someone
who doesn't have like a regular 9 to 5 job.
Yeah. So don't compare yourself to those people. And I think, that's also why you also just like unfollow a lot of those people that you used to follow, because it's, for one, you're spending way too much time on your phone just kind of like looking at those things. And then two, it's giving you like a false reality. Like, what am I really looking at? Because at the end of the day, to me, I mean, it would only make me feel like, damn, like I would want to do those things too.
Exactly.
But except, I mean, personally, for me, I don't really have. I was speaking like more for you.
Yeah, I think definitely like women have a little bit more of that illusion and influence dynamic going on in their lives, but
I don't think men like really have that. I can look at someone going on vacation every day.
It's not about vacation. It's
or
more
like
about
doing
the smaller like things like that. But yeah, that's also you.
I'm just like, okay, wow, that's nice. But then it kind of stops there,
Yeah.
Like I might see some shit and be like, wow, I wonder where they got it from, whatever.
Right. Like, where's the link at?
Yeah, where the link at? You didn't tag anybody. You didn't say link in the bio. You didn't say shit.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it. Honestly,
that's it.
I hope that I wasn't like, if anyone is like an influencer or anything listening to this, I'm not like trying to shit on it, because I am one myself. But I think that it's just important to share that side of it, just because I have actually been the worker, the 9 to 5 grind shit, and I've been the influencer, and there's an interesting thing going on there, that I think, while none of it is wrong, and creating lifestyle content like that is not wrong, and I don't want that to be the takeaway from what I'm saying, because I create this type of content, so it doesn't make sense for me to say this. But at the same time, I want to be real and explain that when you watch it, whoever you are, keep in mind the things that I just said. And it can be any kind of content. Just keep in mind that these people, the fact that they have all these cool clothes and they put all together all these cool clothes. Do you know how long it takes to make a reel? Do you know how long it takes to put together outfits and to go shopping? And I know it's like, oh, that sounds so much fun or whatever. But doing it to the extent that these people are doing it and going out and taking photos and all that, that's a whole thing.
Yeah. You have to have the right lighting. Sometimes you want to film on one day, but it's a gloomy day. It's raining. You can't film on Monday. You got to go on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't even. How many times did that happen to us where we couldn't, like, do something just because of the weather?
Yeah. All the time.
That happened to me with my shoots so many times.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to shoot on Saturday. Saturday, it's shitty weather. Okay, next Saturday. And let's say Saturday is just the only day that worked.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was thinking about other phases that I had. I just want to really run through them really fast, right? So when I was younger, skateboarding was a big phase of mine.
Yeah.
I really thought I was going to be a pro skater.
You still had that. You still have that influence in your, like, the way that you dress, I would say.
I think that kind of stuck with me, definitely. Skating. I still, in the summertime, I still have a skateboard, but
you never use it though.
I never use it. Yeah, it's true. Thanks. But it's something that.
Okay, what's another phase?
I realized really fast that I wasn't going to be a pro. Okay. The moment I saw like a 13-year-old do some crazy shit, I was over here 19 trying to do some shit. It's like, yeah, okay, it's done. Another phase I had was. My life, another phase. Well, right now I'm really in my like 80s pop phase. I've been in that for a long time.
Yeah.
I like rap and R&B and all that, but 80s pop is definitely my favorite right now. I post about this band a lot. It's called Everything But the Girl. Is my favorite band. Listen to it. They just came out with a new song after 24 years of not releasing anything. They stopped in 1999, and just the other day,
that's when I was born.
Yeah, just in
like last week.
It was a couple weeks ago. Oh. I was scrolling, and then I saw they posted a new single after 24 years, and I was just like, I thought it was fake at first. So, anyways,
Yoni loves them.
Yeah, I'm making a playlist right now of Everything But the Girl. So check it out. If you want to just wait for the playlist, I'll probably like post it somewhere. But anyways, yeah, that's it.
That's it, y'all.
That's it. We're gonna get. I'm going to bed. That's what I'm gonna do.
Me too. And I don't want to take a whole long an outro. So I'm just gonna say I hope you enjoyed this episode and had a good time listening and had a good few takeaways from here.
Yeah. I didn't say much. I was kind of just here for the vibes, but I hear you.
All right.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys we'll see you guys next week, but
Yeah. If you're going through any phases, please let us know in the comments. What phase are you in? What are you doing right now? And
what are you like obsessed with right now?
Yeah. And what are you maybe trying to get into?
And what's holding you back from getting into it?
Oh my God. Anyways, guys, we're going to sign off. Thanks for watching. Subscribe on YouTube.
Follow us on the platforms where you listen to your podcast. And yeah, have a good week. Have a good weekend. Don't go too wild. Don't go too crazy. Keep hydrated.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And yeah, goodbye.
Did you say shout out to your dog yet?
Oh my God. Shout out to your dog. I am so sorry. Shout out to your dog. And send me a picture in the DMs, like I want to see what your dog look like.
Yeah. We say this every time. Okay, anyways, bye guys.
Bye.
That was so awkward.
Yeah, anyways, it's midnight, guys, okay?
Oh, damn, it is. All right, bye.